The year is 1940. Europe is engulfed in the flames of war, a conflict that has spread like wildfire across the continent. The German Blitzkrieg, a lightning war strategy, has ripped through Europe with unprecedented speed and ferocity, leaving a trail of shattered armies and devastated cities in its wake. The once mighty defenses of nations crumble under the relentless assault. France, a proud symbol of strength and resilience, now teeters on the brink of collapse. The City of Light, Paris, stands as a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching darkness. The weight of a terrible decision rests upon the shoulders of the French government. They face a harrowing choice: surrender to the overwhelming force of the German war machine, or muster the courage to fight on against seemingly insurmountable odds. In this alternate timeline, fear gives way to defiance. The French people, inspired by their rich history of resistance, refuse to bow down. They draw strength from their ancestors who fought for liberty and justice. The spirit of 1789, the spirit of revolution and resistance, stirs anew in the hearts of the French. The echoes of past battles for freedom resonate through the streets and countryside. The French government, echoing the words of their ancestors, chooses to fight for liberty rather than submit to tyranny. They declare their intent to stand firm, to resist the invaders with every ounce of their strength. The consequences of this decision will reverberate throughout the world. Allies and enemies alike watch with bated breath as France makes its stand. The global community braces for the impact of this bold choice. The French people, though weary and afraid, rally behind their government. They wave their flags and cheer in the streets, a display of unity and determination that defies the looming threat. They know the path ahead will be long and arduous, filled with sacrifices and hardships. Families bid tearful farewells to their loved ones. Soldiers march with resolve, knowing the stakes of their mission. This is a defining moment, a turning point in history, where the fate of France, and perhaps the world, hangs in the balance. The courage and resolve of a nation are put to the ultimate test as they stand against the tide of tyranny. The decision to resist transforms Paris from a city of lights into a city under siege. The Luftwaffe, denied its swift victory, unleashes its fury upon the French capital. The skies rain fire as bombs reduce grand boulevards to rubble-strewn canyons. Iconic landmarks, symbols of French culture and history, are not spared. The Eiffel Tower, once a beacon of progress, becomes a twisted skeleton against the smoke-filled sky. The Louvre, repository of priceless art, sees its treasures threatened by fire and destruction. The heart of France bleeds as Paris endures. Yet, even amidst the ruins, the spirit of defiance burns brightly. Citizens, transformed into impromptu soldiers, resist with a ferocity that surprises even the battle-hardened Germans. The fight for Paris becomes a symbol of France's unwavering resolve. With France's refusal to surrender comes a brutal reality, a harsher, more unforgiving occupation. The Nazis, enraged by this defiance, unleashed their full fury upon the populace. Reprisals for acts of resistance, real or imagined, become commonplace. The Gestapo casts a long shadow over everyday life. Fear and paranoia become constant companions as the occupiers seek to crush the spirit of the French people. Yet the harsher the oppression, the more resolute the resistance becomes. Crucially, The French Navy remains a potent force, operating from North Africa beyond the immediate reach of the Nazis. The fleet disrupts Axis supply lines in the Mediterranean. This naval campaign, a constant thorn in Hitler's side, provides crucial support to the beleaguered British, altering the strategic balance in the Mediterranean. The decision to fight on transforms North Africa into a pivotal theatre of war. The arid, unforgiving landscape becomes a stage for one of the most intense and strategically significant campaigns of World War II. The vast expanses of desert, with their harsh conditions, test the mettle of both men and machines. The North African campaign is not just a battle for territory, but a struggle for survival in one of the most inhospitable environments on Earth, with the French still actively resisting. The region becomes a magnet for German resources, diverting them from other fronts. The French forces, though outnumbered and outgunned, use their intimate knowledge of the terrain to their advantage, setting up ambushes and defensive positions that slow the German advance. This resistance forces the Germans to commit more troops and equipment to North Africa, weakening their positions elsewhere. The vast deserts echo with the clang of tank battles and the roar of aircraft engines. The skies above North Africa become a deadly arena for dogfights as Allied and Axis pilots engage in fierce aerial combat. On the ground, the desert sands are churned by the tracks of tanks and the boots of soldiers as both sides vie for control of key strategic points. The harsh environment adds an extra layer of difficulty, with sandstorms and extreme temperatures posing constant challenges. The Allied invasion of North Africa, originally slated for 1942, unfolds differently in this alternate timeline, with the French forces already engaged in the fight. The Allies find a more favourable situation upon their arrival. The landings, though still fraught with danger, are met with less resistance than anticipated, allowing the Allies to establish a foothold more quickly and begin their push inland. With a strong French presence already established, the landings face less resistance. The collaboration between the French and Allied forces proves to be a decisive factor in the campaign's early successes. The French, familiar with the terrain and tactics of the Axis forces, provide invaluable support and intelligence, helping to guide the Allied advance and avoid potential pitfalls. The campaign, fueled by shared goals and bolstered by local support, gains momentum, pushing back the Axis forces and liberating key territories. The local population, weary of Axis occupation, offers their support to the Allied forces, providing food, shelter, and intelligence. This local support, combined with the determination and cooperation of the Allied and French troops, creates a powerful force that steadily drives the Axis forces back. The early success in North Africa has profound implications for the wider war. It not only boosts the morale of the Allied forces, but also sends a clear message to the world. The Axis powers can be defeated. The victories in North Africa serve as a rallying point for the Allied nations, inspiring further efforts and strengthening the resolve to continue the fight. It provides a much-needed morale boost for the Allies, demonstrating that the Nazi war machine is not invincible. The success in North Africa is celebrated not just on the front lines, but also back home, where it lifts the spirits of the civilian population and reinforces the belief that victory is possible. Propaganda efforts capitalize on these victories, using them to galvanize public support and encourage enlistment. More importantly, it opens up a second front, forcing Hitler to divert troops and resources from his ultimately doomed invasion of the Soviet Union. The North African campaign stretches the Axis forces thin, creating opportunities for the Allies to exploit weaknesses on other fronts. This strategic shift plays a crucial role in the eventual downfall of the Axis powers, as the pressure on multiple fronts becomes too great for them to sustain. Within occupied France, the refusal to surrender breathes life into the French resistance. What begins as scattered acts of sabotage and defiance coalesces into a powerful underground movement, united in its opposition to the Nazi regime. The resistance, fueled by the flames of patriotism and bolstered by support from the Allied powers, becomes a constant thorn in the side of the occupiers. Networks of spies and informants operate in the shadows, providing crucial intelligence to the Allies and sabotaging German operations. Yet this defiance comes at a heavy price. The Nazis, ruthless in their pursuit of order, unleash brutal reprisals for acts of resistance. Villages are razed, innocent civilians are rounded up and deported, and the shadow of fear hangs heavy over the land. The resistance, though a beacon of hope, also becomes a symbol of the immense suffering endured by the French people as the echoes of war fade and the dust settles. France faces the monumental task of rebuilding a nation shattered by conflict. Paris, the city of light, lies in ruins, its streets scarred by the ravages of war. Yet, from this devastation, a new chapter of resilience and hope begins to unfold. The challenges are immense, the infrastructure is decimated, homes are reduced to rubble, and the economy is in tatters. The French people, weary but unbroken, rally together in an extraordinary effort of reconstruction. Engineers, architects, and labourers work tirelessly, driven by a collective determination to restore their homeland. The government, with the support of international allies, initiates ambitious plans to rebuild Paris. Amidst the ruins, new structures rise, and old ones are rebuilt. Iconic landmarks, though scarred, stand as testaments to the city's enduring spirit. The Eiffel Tower, the Notre Dame, and the Louvre, damaged by alternate German bombings and reprisals, emerge from the ashes, symbols of a reborn Paris. The reconstruction is not just physical. The French people rebuild their society, fostering a renewed sense of unity and purpose. Cultural institutions flourish, and Paris once again becomes a beacon of art, fashion, and intellectual thought. The city, vibrant and resilient, reclaims its place on the world stage. The journey is fraught with hardship, yet the spirit of the French people remains unyielding. From the ruins of war, Paris rises anew, a symbol of hope and resilience for generations to come. The City of Light once again shines brightly, a testament to the indomitable human spirit.